All right. Hey guys. I don't know if any of you guys are actually going to be able to join me on this. If not, you guys can go back and watch it on the replay obviously. I wanted to do a live today because we're not going to be here Sunday. So I still have not gotten the shrub video up. I want to do the Amish firewater too. I need to get a couple things for that. Yeah. We're gonna become. I have a lot going on today. I've already been downtown once. Well, one of the things I went down there for, I couldn't even get, so. This is the time of the day when I get like a lot of texts and just phone calls and stuff like that. And just said, I have a lot going on. I was gonna do this at 7 tonight, but I'm gonna be picking Chloe up, and we're going to go to Meijer and pick up stuff that we need for Sunday. The heck? Yeah, that's not a scam. Sorry. Totally dumb. Anyway. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna be. I wanted to cover a couple of different things. And there's a reason why I have this. What can we do to get ready for what's coming, to prepare for what's coming? And there's quite a few different things, delete that. Boots, stop. Just seriously, stop. Boots! Boots? This cat, I swear. Is this it? Okay, yeah, that is. Well, I can go over that list. That cat's gonna drive me nuts. Sorry, let me let him out on the porch. I still haven't really had anything to eat. I've had a yogurt. That's it. Oh, you were so annoying. Please, just go on a porch and sit in the sun. Go. Go. Had to chase down 2 chickens this morning because they like getting out of the coop. And going around the yard, of course. I am going to be making some eggs for myself. Yes. Yeah, I just have not. Really had anything yet. I went downtown to get some almond milk, plus Scott got called into work, which is why he's not here. Nebula, please go lay down. Yeah, that's why he got called into work. That's why he's not here. But the initial thing at hand here, what can we do to get prepared? Now I have a list of certain things that are recommended. I'm gonna be going over. Look at this egg, you guys. This egg is so huge. Yeah, that's from one of our Diamond Duchess. That egg is huge. We have gotten some really big eggs from the Diamond Duchess chickens. Yeah, I just keep them in the fridge because it's just the easiest place for us to keep them. It's out of the way. It's, put up, that kind of thing. So the list, get into this while I'm actually so I think what I'm gonna do is pull up okay. I was watching it this morning. We'll go to full spectrum. Right, this one that was last night.
I have told you before, and this is some breaking news to we're going to be living in our parents' basements until we're 35 because I just spent $30 on 2 boxes of cereal.
Okay. This
we're
one right
be
here.
Living in our parents' basements until we're 35 because I've got some video right behind me.
This one is
chief. This is Greg Bovino, in which he's discussing the criminality of an individual who was grocery shopping. He was asked by protesters or people who come up, "Why wouldn't you just let this guy do his grocery shopping?"
All right, I'm
going to ask.
Let this play. We'll talk about it
people
as it's playing.
Murder. They go grocery shopping.
And I will make my eggs.
Not on the same lines as that. People who run tickets, they go grocery shopping. Anything that is
the list, the prep list, suggested prep list is on my phone. We'll go over that
right now by this administration, and that puts everybody on the radar, from speeding tickets to tax evasion to people who are making threats against others online. this administration is going to come after you. You just wait and see. If it's not this one, it's definitely going to be the left-sided when they get into business.
You guys again? Oh, what happened? They just ID'd him. The other guy. Don't you coordinate with each other? They just ID'd him.
So that's ICE going after people. Here's an individual from Canada. The poor guy is just beginning to realize that the socialist marketplace doesn't work. And unfortunately, south of the border, the American corrupt capital marketplace doesn't work either.
Our generation is cooked. We're going to be living in our parents' basements until we're 35 because I just spent $30 on 2 boxes of cereal and milk. Like,
he shows the receipts. It's no joke. This is what's happening in Canada, and it's what is coming soon for America. This, I thought when I first saw it, was artificial intelligence, but it's not. Multiple people sent in. This is from the region in Argentina that just saw a massive storm system, lots of flooding, lots of disaster. Look at this thing. So here we've got Argentina that signed a multi-billion-dollar deal with the United States of America, just made military pacts with the USA, suddenly started having warehouse fires. Places were blowing up that had to do with their agriculture. There was sabotage in and around their food supply. And now they have these crazy storm systems that are being reported. I believe that this may be a coordinated
It's one of the
effort.
things that I went to tell you.
Stand on your business, boys and girls, because things are about to get wild in the USA.
What happened is the value of the money falls 4 or 5% a year. That's inflation. Falls 4 or 5% a year, and the economic growth has been about 2% a year. So it's about 7% a year growth, and that means everything doubles in 10 years. The value of the money falls in half every 15 years. So you got to make twice what you're making today in 15 years.
So let's say you're making $50,000. You have to make $100,000 a year in 10 years just to stay even, and that's without economic black swans like what we are experiencing right now, where the housing market went up 100%, 200%. The cost of groceries up 30 to 50%. When you have those black swan events, that's what really throws the kinks into the entire machine, because we might not make it out of this. These are flooded waters coming into a home inside of Indonesia. Horrible situation for everybody involved. More video there, folks, out of the protests in Mexico. You can see right here in the middle of the screen, middle off to the right, the guy's carrying a hammer. He did not bring it there to do small repairs. He brought that hammer to bash in the heads of all the law enforcement and riot control that are there. He will use it, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
I don't want to live in a city that locks up the aisles in a grocery store anymore. I don't want to be at a restaurant, have to go to the bathroom, and go ask somebody for a code. I'm tired of walking into a park and seeing Sharps containers at every end.
Anybody who doesn't know, Sharps containers are safe needle drop points, because rather than control an epidemic of drug use and needle use, they just put these places where the druggies can just put their needles in. Let me tell you, somebody who's shooting some unknown substance into their middle of the webs of their toes because they've already broken their veins in their arms and their fingers, they are not caring about putting their needles away.
And every exit, this isn't normal. I shouldn't be at a park and see a bathroom and wonder if A, it's open, B, see that it's completely covered in graffiti, or C, that it is completely inoperable because the city doesn't take care of it. It is not normal to see ads for home security systems everywhere. When my mom came to visit me, I remember.
So he's just getting a wake-up call in his generation that the current state of the United States of America is anything but normal and anything but safe.
I was trying to find
That
something
person
for
was
eating my
recently
eggs.
infected with
I
the
don't have a
H5
lot
and
right
N5 variation of the bird flu in Washington State, United States of America. They're having a real hard time tracking down where he might have come into contact with this, and officials are afraid that it may have already spread. This was a video that I don't want to show too much of, so maybe we'll cover back to that for just somewhere else. This is footage showing ICE agents carrying out that recent statewide operation in Florida targeting traffickers.
Well, they're all, I ain't gonna go wrong with it. I'm gonna just let him do his thing, man.
I'll show you guys the nice deep. You can see it.
Biker gangs, it really didn't matter who it was. They were coming after your children, and it's time that they GTFO. These are multiple
The deep,
viral
deep,
outbreaks
yeah,
taking
dark
place
yellow
in
color. I
Ethiopia.
can't really show
This
it
is a
without.
hemorrhagic
Don't-
fever. If you don't know what a hemorrhagic fever is, it basically
Deep,
means your organs
yellowish, almost
explode
yellow
inside
orange
of your
color
body.
of
You bleed
the
out your
eggs.
ears, you bleed out your eyes, you
From
bleed
the
out your
chicken.
nose. Eventually, all of your organs shut down and fail. That is, if it's before you start bleeding out of your cranial region. So just watch out. These types of things. Remember, in the USA, what did they do? They found a Chinese lab that was trying to do some really strange things just like this. Flooding event, more video coming out of the UK. Here's Tom Home and the border.
Tempted to throw 2 more eggs in it. That would be 24 grams of protein.
But the idea is, but I don't think your case of a friend of this country, a friend of the president, I don't think.
I put too much coconut oil on there though.
Not sharing something, I'm getting out of my way, I'm the border guy.
Not used to making eggs just for
They're
myself.
unloading the microplastics in the form of water bottles right behind him. But Tom Homan saying that the United Kingdom is not a friend to the United States of America. And I do believe that he is speaking because he has heard that exact same message passed around the administration. Feeding America, the monthly average of grocery prices. And next time you're gaslit by an official to tell you that the prices are better, let me tell you, they have narrowly stabilized. Prices are not down.
No,
but they
they're
may be
not.
stabilizing. We are going to see that continue to increase. When you look at the cost that it took to feed a family of 4 per month just back before COVID hit, that's right around here on this graph. Right around here, you were at $765, $770 per month. At best case scenario, on a monthly average, because people are buying less than ever, the price is $1,000 per month. Massive increases, folks.
Day's wage to buy a loaf
Okay,
of
this
bread.
is a
We're
scam I
heading
really
there,
want to make
guys.
you guys aware of, because you need to let your friends and family know this is happening. These are people, a lot of times they are people who are not supposed to be in this country legally. They are using this as a means to get a couple of dollars here, a couple of dollars there. What they do is they get in the back. They'll sometimes have 4 or 5 guys in a vehicle. They will all have their Uber app up, and they will appear to accept you as a fare. So they'll say they're coming to pick you up, and then they'll sit there. And what they prey upon is that the average person needs to go somewhere when they call an Uber or a Lyft. And so the person will cancel that designated driver. And that driver will then get to keep the fees for the cancellation. Here's one citizen fighting back.
Okay, so that was just kind of while I was making my eggs. And guys, I apologize, for the short notice of this. I know there probably won't be anyone watching it, but I haven't even done a... Alright, we're gonna go back and get to the other one.
we're going to be living in our
It's happening.
This is the one. This was from last
I have
night.
told you before, and this is some. I have told you before, and this is some breaking news to a lot of people out there. I have told you before that they have already told us in very explicit words what they're going to do
Yep.
to Americans and what they're going to do to people all over the world. The goal is subjection and servitude. You listen to it for yourself.
But
Yep,
if it
they're
really
basically
becomes
trying to
that
make
easy,
slaves out of all
I
of
think
us.
it has a big impact.
We're developing through technology an ability for consumers to measure their own carbon footprint. What does that mean? That's where
So I'm going to read the rest of this because it starts off with some music. He says, we're going to see where people are traveling. How are they traveling? What type of food are you ingesting, and what are you consuming, both into your body and around? Because these lights on, that's a quoted taxable carbon measurable product. And so that data point, how much electricity do you use? And then you will start to be charged for them giving the data centers more electricity because they'll put a higher ticket price on your electrical bill, not just the kilowatts you use. So now they'll say, okay, well, maybe a certain percentage, they jack rocket the bills up. And then they say, you know what, a good percentage of that bill should go to a taxable footprint. And that's their goal. So he says, what are they consuming on platforms? Then they say the cause of climate
Hold on, you guys. I
indoctrination
want to try to get
is meat
this.
and dairy. He says the producers of meat and dairy should pay for the damage. Do you think the producers will? Will it be you? Then they just go on. Every time you drink a coffee, he says you are basically poisoning the earth, the atmosphere. There's a prediction from this one that we will have proteins not coming from meat. The proteins, he says, will taste even better. So why are we trying to mimic meat? He says, why not just make a chemical that humans like more?
Answers can't feed America. I laugh. We are feeding America. We're just locked out of the system. So I'm building a new one. Let's talk about the American Rancher Alliance, the producer-owned cooperative I'm building. Going.
So what they have done is they've made it so that the ranchers can't just sell to the public. They have to go through sales channels, and that increases your product price and it decreases the freshness of your meat. And it basically gives them an incentivized reason to pack your meat with glue, with filler water, and with all sorts of
Nebula?
To digital
Oh my
IDs.
gosh, these cats, animals, I swear.
Networks learn how to
Alright.
manipulate biometric data. When
Yeah, this
fingerprints
crap
don't match,
is.
when hackers swap someone's identity, people were locked out of survival.
And what he means by this
Nebula!
is that India and China and other
What are you
countries have
doing?
already instituted what America and the Western world are looking at, because Europe right now is all for this. But America is like, well, let's just wait and see how the people will handle it. Then they might have to attack power and control through a different mechanism. But they're watching because in these other countries, you can't go to the doctor, you can't get a vehicle, you can't even take an Uber or a bus fare. You can't go to the grocery store. The power company won't even give you a power bill in your name unless you check out on their infrastructure.
Alright.
It's really bad. I don't know what's happened to education. It breaks my heart. I wanted to be a teacher since I was in the 4th grade. Now I'm a teacher and I'm miserable a lot. I love the act of teaching. I
Nebula!
love changing students' minds and helping them develop into smart individuals. But I don't do that. I don't get to teach. I spend my day managing behaviors.
So this is a teacher who's extremely frustrated with how things are going. She says, I don't get to do the teaching part. I don't get to give good education. Education is failing because students are running the classroom and teachers have no authority.
Time offender. If a bartender can go to prison for over serving alcohol to a drunk person, and that drunk person goes out and gets in a DUI and kills somebody, then surely a judge who frees a 14-time offender should go to prison, especially if that person goes out and kills someone.
Accountability is something that has been lost in our judicial system for a long time.
Thank you for this opportunity. Distinguished members, thank you for this opportunity. The only true consequence we have to slow down and discourage people from coming into the United States illegally is sending them back to their country of origin. Throughout the first 3+ years of this administration,
So this is the border official discussing what had happened during the last administration. Border Chief Aaron,
All right.
he says that we have no idea who or what is making it into the USA. Special interest aliens, those are SIAs. You might not have even heard that term before unless you heard me say it. Special interest or SIAs. So if you're a special interest alien, that means that there's a tie somewhere. And remember in our this
All right.
Trump
Yeah.
said
Sorry,
they know
guys.
every front door of every drug dealer,
Trying to at least
every
let
front
some
door of
people
every
know that we're
factory,
live.
every organization and individual. So they know who these people were, who they are, and what their ties are. But they don't.
Chloe
act-
can't get on. She's
I don't
at
know why on
work.
that. So he says at this time, I was told you could not release any information on this
I mean,
increase
Amy
in
can't
terrorist
either.
like individuals or mention it or take them under arrest. He says 80-90% increase in methamphetamine. So this is why America is going so hardcore.
All right. I just sent it out to just a few people. So, all right.
Here you have,
Like I said,
you know,
people can
citizens
watch the replay.
running after and impeding and telling the criminals who ran away from these enforcement officials because they ran into the woods. So these people are like, you know what, we're going to slow you down.
Yeah,
If
this
you try to
is
slow a cop down as he's chasing a criminal, and I don't care what they're a criminal for, if you try to slow a cop down as he chases a shoplifter,
yeah, that's
you
actually
try to
kind of
put your foot
stupid.
out and trip that cop up, or you get 10 people and stand in that cop's way, or you tell the criminal, listen, we're going to make so much noise, you're not going to get caught.
Yeah, there's a few that I wanted to cover as far as videos go. I want to go over that
So
prep
there's gonna come
list.
a time very where every person who picks up a phone, yells at a border protection or immigration official, yells at a federalized official, speaks up against National Guard.
There's a couple from
We're gonna
Richie
go
from Boston that I want to
the rest of their
kinda
acting life.
bring up to you.
This is a video. This was interesting to me because I always hear about forced cultural change. This is a video showing in Texas 48 different cultural worshiping places of Islamic back that have opened up in a 2-year period. And you can just
Yeah,
see
that's crazy.
the absolute pop-up of new organizations. Forced cultural change
Yep.
is a goal. This is a video showing
Country's in trouble, you guys.
United States, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Texas. Texas has an absolute huge economy.
Check my eggs real quick.
The worst 6-month period since record keeping began. Worse than any economic crisis since
Leave the cat alone.
1983.
Go.
The United States of America is falling.
It's Josh Strong. I wanted to provide an update as Customs and Border Patrol agents have been in Charlotte over the weekend. Before Customs and Border Patrol came to Charlotte, I encourage North Carolinians to follow the law, remain peaceful, and bear witness to what you're saying.
I'll just buy some more of that.
Thank you, Charlotte, for answering that call. To the CBP, if you know that we have violent criminals in Charlotte who are undocumented, we want them out too. Everyone wants to be safe in their communities. But the action is too many federal agents are doing the exact opposite in Charlotte. We've seen mass.
I thought about taking my phone out and doing a video.
Paramilitary
guard.
guard.
Really, Cream?
You tell me what you think about that. Taiwan, they're now delivering
Nebula!
civil defense handbooks.
Would you
to
stop
10
messing with
million
the cats?
people.
They don't want to play with you.
Handbook. This
No.
is right from the Taiwan.
Leave them alone.
How to respond to water outages, how to respond to power outages, how to re-shelter or re-house yourself, how to allocate daily necessities. And we talked about this on our live
Okay.
the other night. If you have an above ground 250-gallon water tank, you can see what
You are?
way, and you can say, okay, I've got to start rationing. I've got to start replacing this. I've got to route my roof water into this. You can do something, but a lot of people don't know how to do it. So the government there is trying to get people ready because World War III, according to a lot of people, will start. You probably won't be coming. So if you're watching Full Spectrum Survival on YouTube, I work every day to doom scroll so you don't have to. Please make sure that you are subscribed, and if you see a hype button anywhere down below this video, please click it. It really helps. That's the jump back into the algorithms of YouTube. For my family to yours, please
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna find the Richie from Boston one.
and keep watch.
Okay, they're talking. Okay, he's talking about the internet and shutting down the internet again. So. Italy, you want some water?
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 18th of November of the year 2025. I don't believe any of that, but it is what it is. I apologize for not making videos for the last few days, but I've had the most unusual chain of events keep occurring.
Yeah, this is kind of a
working on my truck.
up and out of the blue live, but
look at me, all beat up. Look at my arms, dude.
wanted to get my
Feeling like
live
a
in this
stuffed
week.
But I gotta tell you,
I know I'm not gonna be able to
God
do it
is amazing.
Sunday.
God is,
So.
God is amazing. I hope every one of you pause the video right now and say a prayer to God. Just say the Our Father prayer if you have to, but say a prayer and be thankful because God is looking out for us because we are away in a world where everyone is completely and utterly asleep. And it's amazing to me. But here we are. And once again, it appears the elites are testing the internet shutdown because Cloudflare went down so hard again this morning that it took Down Detector down. This thing has taken out 2 pieces of the internet and it's taken out massive banks.
I took one of my chocolates.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what they're doing here? And what they're doing is exactly what they did last year. They're hitting the banks, they're hitting the internet, they're testing if they can shut down our internet while keeping their internet up and running. Do not fall for this because the World Economic Forum, Davos, the International Monetary Fund, all the big players, Blackstone, BlackRock, they're all behind this. This is not an accident. This was done on purpose, and it will happen again. Does it make sense now when I tell you get your money out of the bank because they're going to crash the entire system? And whether you know what to do with gold and silver or not, get your money out of the bank because they're going to steal everything you ever had. If you've got something to barter your life with as opposed to having nothing, what do you think is better? Seriously. Get up, Goldco. They'll get your money away from the bank because if you try to do it yourself,
I love the
absolutely forever.
And that does not have any.
I swear by Goldco, they work for everybody I've dealt with. They'll work for you. Get your money out of the bank. This test was not random in any way whatsoever at all. These people are extremely evil.
Okay.
They talk to demons and they want to destroy and own us and use us like chattel. Do you see what I'm saying? For instance, look at this.
Well, we've all been there before, rushing to get to the airport when you suddenly realize you forgot your passport. Well, Apple says it's got you covered. The company launching a new feature yesterday. It's called Digital ID. It's a way to carry a copy of your passport on your iPhone or Apple Watch.
Yeah, this is
then stored in
this
your
is the
Apple Watch.
beginning of a very long, dark road.
Used at TSA checkpoints at more than 250 U.S. airports, with more coming later. However, very important to note here, it does not replace a physical passport and cannot be used for international travel or border crossings.
You see what's going on? It's here. It's here. They did not mess around. It was in the UK. Nobody wants it. Boom, it's already here. And so many people have the Apple iPhone. They're just going to run with it. They're just gonna run with it. So the time to get ready for this has come and gone, but it's happening, and you need to be ready for this because this is going to be the biggest decision you've ever made in your life. Are you really grounded in the Word of God? Do you really have the conviction that it requires to not go along with this entire system? Because everybody around you is going to do it. Everybody around you is going to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do it. I will be an outcast. I have no issue with that whatsoever at all. I am not selling my soul. I am not rolling with these people. These people are straight up 100% evil. And the fact that we are awake and can see this for what it is, the fact that we've been talking about things like the digital ID, the digital dollar, and the social credit system since 2017. You've had time to get ready. But time is running out. The decision will be at hand very, very, very soon. Let me remind you what it looks like in China.
Oh, yeah. Revelation 13:17, that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Should be coming to how you prove who you are. Utah State is considering rolling out a digital ID to help prove who you are in your online dealings. But with data breaches on the rise, Jim Spiewak asks if this can be a game changer for your online safety and security.
Everyone is born with identity.
You control your identity. You should control your digital identity.
Christopher Bramwell, Utah's chief privacy officer, is leading the state's effort to create a state-endorsed digital identity system, which would provide residents with a verified digital credential proving they are who they say they are.
So someone being able to pretend that they're me probably wouldn't happen. The whole point of state-endorsed digital identity is to give you control of your identity so nobody can impersonate you.
Bramwell sees initial uses for digital identity for things like going through TSA or verifying identity for government services. But he also says demand is growing in the private sector.
Why wouldn't you just use an identity you control to log into services, and you don't have to worry about reset password?
Bramwell says once you receive your credential, the state won't know when you use it, and it won't be tracked, but it will be stored securely in something.
That's a load of crap.
What do we tell people about why this will be secure? The security is our top priority, but most importantly, how do you recover when there's a security breach without having to do reissuance of identity to everybody in the state?
Utah lawmakers passed Senate Bill 260 this year, which laid the baseline policy that gives individuals the right to digital identity, but not a mandate to opt in.
You're with David House of Saving Health Ministries, and as you just saw there in the video clip, they want to protect your online identity. They want you to be safe. They want to secure your online identity. And what does the Bible say? That when they would say peace and safety, sudden destruction will come.
Yep.
That's what it says in 2 Thessalonians chapter 5. So when we consider this legislation by the state of Utah, it's important to understand that the Bible says that no man might buy or sell except those who take the mark. So in order for them to be able to,
And this is a precursor
the implementation
to the mark
of a digital ID that's connected to your finances, that's connected to your medical information and your education.
I'm really hoping
taxes,
that Aaron and
social,
Christian don't
everything
do it.
about you, so that they can turn it off
Chloe.
or turn it on when they feel like it. Or if you don't comply with their wishes, such as your attendance on Sunday at church. This is the mark of the beast. Some of you have not seen our video on what the mark of the beast is, but as you see on the screen, please do take advantage of this playlist on the mark of the beast. We'll put it in the description box below so that you can better understand that the mark of the beast, who's the beast? Roman Catholicism. What is the mark of her authority? Sunday worship by law. Once it is implemented as a law in America, we have the mark of the beast. Nobody has it right now, but very soon, Trump will bring in Sunday observance by law. Notice what Trump said about Sunday church attendance.
It's going to bring back the churchgoer. I mean, you have to see. I don't like the charts. When I see charts where they're going in the wrong direction, we don't like that. We're going to bring it back. And I really believe it's the biggest thing missing from this country. It's the biggest thing missing. We have to bring back our religion. We have to bring back Christianity in this country.
So as you just saw there in the clip, Trump says that
the church attendance is going down and we have to change that. Well, how are they going to change that? Through legislation. And the reason why this is significant is because the Bible says that the seventh day is the Sabbath, not Sunday. The seventh day is what we call Saturday. That's the true Sabbath. And we have a document on our website where all the major Protestant denominations have admitted, the Baptists, the Methodists, the Presbyterian, the Congregationalists have all admitted that the true Sabbath is Saturday. So this legislation by the state of Utah will impact those living in that state, but many others will follow the example of Utah, and other states will follow suit very, very soon. One of the reasons that they're using for this need of a digital ID is because of the children that are getting involved and getting on websites that they should not be getting on. And so therefore they want to protect
They're after the children.
say, keep the children safe, peace and safety. That mention seems to be noble. Meanwhile, your privacy is exterminated and all your information will now be available to the government. And everything you look up, everything you Google, every website you go to, whether
It always floats in and
Sunday
out.
observance, whether
So I don't know if it's just the
whether
live or what.
about taking the jab, all that information is now privy to the government so that they can create a database of the type of people that they need to keep a watch on. Brothers and sisters, Big Brother is here, and your rights are going out the window. And now that we have this,
Make sure you like and share this, you guys.
Food stamps,
Especially liking it, so it'll
notice
get out
what
to
the
more
headline
people.
here says from Fox News. USDA chief warns we're right at the cliff as 40 million Americans brace for food stamp cutoff. And what that means is where
Thankfully, we haven't had them.
food, people are going to resort to crime. So there's going to be an uptick of robberies and crime and break-ins and things of that nature, burglaries. So when you consider that, brothers and sisters, the city is not a place you'll want to be. And this is why this November is
I worry
a
about Chloe
one that could lead to
and
the
Christian.
martial law declaration by President Trump. It could. I'm not saying it will, but it definitely could. Because once people are looting and the civil unrest begins, that will lead to either a national emergency and the National Guard or troops coming into the streets of wherever the civil unrest is.
Yep.
And if there is martial law declared, you will not be able to function normally, which means your rights are removed. Under martial law, the Constitution is completely suspended. I want you to see these articles on martial law just so you can get yourself ready because it's coming. It's just a matter of time, whether it's this November or some other time in the future. But I would not be surprised if martial law were declared this coming November. Here it says on the headline, these judges are warning us we're on the fast track to martial law. On the what? Fast track. Notice another article. Here it says, martial law in an American city, 1929. We'll put the link to the article so that you can read it at your leisure. But understand, brothers and sisters, get ready. Have your food, have your water, and have the oil of the Holy Spirit in your vessel.
I think
in
Friday,
your body, in your
I'm gonna
heart,
make sure
so
that I
you
can order
might be
some
ready when it's coming.
more
Because
seeds.
if you're not rooted in Christ, many are going to forsake Christ in this crisis, just as the disciples forsook Christ in the crisis when Jesus was arrested. Brothers and sisters, the crisis is here. Let us.
This is all very, very, very real. This is not conspiracy entertainment anymore. This is not fear porn in any way whatsoever at all. This is literally good versus evil. And for some reason, some of us are completely awake and we see this and we have seen this. The reason Jesus picked us, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. A worthless wretch like me. But I'll tell you what, everything that's happened, we've been telling you about for 10, 15, some of us for 20 years.
Right.
It's insane. You need to be prepared for this in your mind, body, and your spirit more than anything else whatsoever.
I'll admit I'm not.
At any rate,
I know I'm not.
tomorrow night. Because I'm still at my buddy's shop. I'm rolling out of here first thing in the morning.
That's tonight.
Hopefully, we don't rise in the good Lord's
I'll
will.
try to
But I had to get a video up as soon as I possibly could. And here it is.
catch that.
Get your money out of the bank. Get ready, 'cause it's coming. It's not actually coming. It's here. We're in a trap that's about to spring.
Yep.
It's that detrimental. Richie from Boston. And I'm out.
All right. So there was that one. Um. I guess what I'm gonna do here. I think Aaron's up. Okay, so I was checking my Amazon for what seeds I have. I have so many things saved on here. I think what I'm going to do Friday is I'm going to order some more seeds from Sellrite and probably Baker's Creek. We've got to get our stuff, you guys. It's absolutely imperative. All right, we're gonna go over this list. All right, on this list, top 50 items to stockpile. Number 1, pasta. Right. Number 2, rice. They're grain foods. But you know what? They store well, for one. They last a long time, and they make fairly quick meals. You do need water, obviously. 3, spaghetti sauce. 4, canned tomatoes. 5, canned veggies. Okay. The canned veggies, you're not going to get much nutrition out of. You're not going to starve, but you're not going to get much nutrition. You will need to stockpile up on vitamins and stuff like that if you're going to go with canned veggies. The other problem that you have with canned veggies is there's a lot of sodium in it. And it's the unhealthy stuff. It can cause you a lot of problems. 6, canned soup. 7, condensed cream soups like chicken, mushroom, celery, that kind of thing. Because you can add them to meals for one. 8, macaroni and cheese. I beg to differ on that one. Because that stuff is so processed. 9, tuna. 10, cereal. Okay, that's also another. Cereal is very highly processed. Again, you won't starve, but it's not healthy. 11, oatmeal. It's actually been proven it's not that healthy. Even Doug and Stacy said something about that. 12, crackers. Quick snack. A little bit of energy. You can make your own. So, one of the big things to stock up on is flour. Shredded cheese. Now they say put that in the freezer. Power. Grid down. That's going to be a problem. Butter. Now, you make your own. You can wrap it and put it in your pantry or somewhere that stays fairly cool. So, chocolate chips, again, the same thing. You can put them, like, we could put them in a tote in the basement. Meat. You can can meat. Have to have a pressure canner. And you have to do it right. Juice concentrate. Okay, freezer. Frozen potatoes, frozen vegetables. Again, freezer, freezer, freezer. We have a lot of stuff in the freezer as well. Peanut butter. It's a really good one. Try to get it without the high fructose corn syrup. Salad dressing. I would highly recommend you stock up on your honey, apple cider vinegar. You need that anyway. And your extra virgin olive oil. and make sure it's a good olive oil. Don't cook with it. Don't cook with it. And then you can make your own dressings. Condiments, ketchup, make sure there's no high fructose corn syrup in it. Same with barbecue sauce. You can make your own honey mustard. It's healthier. Try to get an organic mustard, a Dijon mustard, because you do need those. And obviously your raw, unfiltered honey. Kleenex, I'm going to say paper towels because they're cheaper than Kleenex and you can buy them in bigger packages. Toilet paper, obviously, paper towels, shampoo and conditioner. Now, there's a lot of healthier stuff out there than what's on the shelf. And we'll get into that in another video. Bar soap, I'm stocking up on that. Hand soap, and a lot of the bar soaps you can use for hand soap. Dish soap, you can make your own. Deodorant, try to get an aluminum-free deodorant. You can also make your own. Razors, body wash, face wash. Again, your bar soaps work very well. You can make your own facial bars, which I have done. And this is a facial and a body bar. And these are for sale. I have one. I'm probably going to do another one. But I'm also going to make sure I can make some more. Peppermint charcoal detox facial and body bar. And they're $5 a piece. I don't even have them all wrapped yet. They work very well and it makes your skin feel really good. And all that's in it is the goat's milk soap base, the triple butter soap base, which is mango butter, shea butter, and cocoa butter. And it works really well on your face. It's a great detox for your skin and you can use it all over. You don't have to use, it's not just for your face. Pads and tampons. Yeah. And I need to stock up on pads and try to help Chloe stock up on hers. And this is kind of a sore spot for her and I because she doesn't really like to talk about this stuff. So, toothpaste. Now you can make your own. You can make your own tooth powder, toothbrushes. Doug and Stacy recommend the bamboo ones. I feel like my teeth don't get clean, so I've been very spoiled. But they've also said that the electric toothbrushes, battery operated ones, are not good for your mouth. So, I don't know. Diapers, wipes, if you guys have kids, babies. Laundry detergent, again, you can make your own. The super washing soda, the Arm & Hammer super washing soda, the Fels Naphtha bars, and OxiClean. And then all you need is a grater. And I'm going to say a 5-gallon bucket because that would last you for a long time. It might last you... Honestly, it could last you for a couple years, if not longer. Depending on, because you only need like one of the small scoops like that. You only need like 1 or 2 of those per load. So, and I am going to get the equipment to build that off-grid washer. No, we do have that one, but I'm still going to build the other one because we will need it. Because that one requires electricity. Dryer sheets, you can make your own. Again, grid down. Vinegar works very well as a fabric softener. Dish detergent, that's for dishwasher. Not going to work grid down anyway. Flour, sugar. With flour, try to make sure it's at least unbleached flour, if not even healthier flour. I'm going to try to go for the healthier flour. Make sure you have a good way to store it. Sugar, raw cane sugar. Dried milk, Powdered milk is really, really good. Cooking oil, don't use olive oil for cooking. Hi, Aaron.
Hi. What are you doing?
I have a live thing going because Chloe wants me to pick her up at 7 tonight. Now, I was going to do it tonight, but...
We're gonna have to change. Oh.
Did you see the holes
Huh?
in the plastic?
No.
There's like 3.
Stupid cat. There's a pain in the butt to fix behind the metal.
He's a butthole.
Swear he does it on purpose.
He does.
He just wants to mess with me.
Yeah, so I put him in the bedroom because I caught him and he almost got stuck in the fence. I think he was trying to like actually get out. He's a butthead. Oh, and I found 2 of the chickens out earlier. Found 2 of them out yesterday. One of them was getting near the driveway. And Nebula was outside.
Where's Dad?
He got called into work. He had to Kate had to go into the ER, I guess, and she needed somebody to come in.
Is he out at 10 tonight again?
No, he's getting out around 4. So I can pick him up. I don't have to work today, so.
Wait, you know.
No, I don't work today. Remember, I had Sunday and Wednesday off this week.
I was thinking you worked today.
No, I have Sunday and Wednesday
We're
off.
gonna have to do something about the kittens. Do you see them?
Yeah, we're gonna have to clean that. Probably gonna have to pick up a few more blankets and just keep trading them out. So I can wash them.
I think we need to try. Need to start working on litter training the babies. 6 weeks old now.
Yeah. But that's also going to take constant attention to that.
Well, they just generally tend to instinctually go for an area where they can dig nicely. So you put a small pan of litter in there and set them in the litter, they might just like realize what it is. Go there.
I wish I had a bigger thing to put them in.
That thing's already huge.
Yeah, I know, but it's going to cut out at least 1/3 of their space.
So I gotta go to the store when I get out of work tonight, and I gotta pick up some more kosher salt and some drinks and stuff like that for Thanksgiving. And I gotta take care of the turkey first thing tomorrow morning. I gotta get up at like 10. Hopefully it's long enough.
You might have to get up earlier.
It's in the sun right now, which probably helps. I'm gonna flip that thing over. So
Go check and see if there's chickens out too. All right, sorry guys. All right, yeah, cooking oil, just make sure. Vegetable oil, stay away from that nasty crap. Canola, any of that stuff is so horrible for you. So bad for you. Olive oil, don't cook with it. It turns into a carcinogen. Your best cooking oils are going to be almond oil. Well, no, avocado oil, I'm sorry. And coconut oil and butter. And home rendered lard. I haven't done that yet because we haven't had the animals, we could get that from. Vinegar. You can home make your own apple cider vinegar. And then white vinegar. I know you can make your own white vinegar. I need to actually study up on that and research that. Drink mixes, lemonade, cocoa, etc. Just check them out really good and make sure there's no aspartame in it or no really nasty refined sugars. Because you don't want that. Foil, lots of it. And plastic, Ziploc bags. So, yeah. That's what's suggested on this list. Now, the other thing, we're just going to get right into the homesteading board. Nebula, go. Okay, where did it go? Well, I'm gonna go back and back. How to homestead totally off grid. Oh, I wonder if that was on my. Homestead. Wow, really? Wonder if I have. Having a hard time finding this. Oh, we're just gonna go back and we're gonna look for this. That's so weird. I actually wonder. Hold on. I'm trying to see if this is something on the Homestead Survival site. Just ensure bring blackout basics.
First off, the thing is still frozen solid. I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow.
Fun.
Secondly, there was a chicken out.
Figures. Here. Well, that's
my eye. Oh, I got my coffee going. Well, let's say sometime tomorrow if I get the coffee machine here ready then tonight instead. I gotta double check my dry brine guide.
Yeah.
Only thing I remember is that it's kosher salt and some seasonings.
Okay. I can't find what I'm looking for, so. I know it was something that I found, unless it was a video. I'm gonna look and see if that's what it was. It might have been, actually. So we're gonna go to search. And see if this was a video. Might have been. And if I don't come up with anything from this, I will just wait. And then when I find it, I will do a video on it. Nebula, I don't know what you want. Probably want attention.
Jeez, cat.
Dog, what are you doing?
I see you use my blender.
Yes, I did.
Dude, wow, that would have been real bad. I'm not fully awake.
What did you do? Or
The
almost
sugar
do?
container.
Wow, Aaron. Oh, hey, look, I found it. Well, I don't know if this is what I. Nope. Really?
Ugh.
All right, so I'm just gonna go back to.
Oh, dang, I'm tired.
I know that feeling, but I don't have to work today, thankfully.
I gotta get up early to do it tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what I'm gonna do on that stupid bird. I'll just have to wait another day, dress it on Friday, hope that another day is long enough for it to thaw. It's supposed to be in the 50. It's supposed to be like 51 out tomorrow. And I don't know if that's gonna be too warm for the bird.
I don't know.
Dog, what are you doing? Just don't know.
I don't know either. Your dad was supposed to drink that this morning. It was an empty jar out here. Nabila, would you get off me? Hang on. Besides, your dad was supposed to drink it this morning, and he didn't. I told him it was there. Who does this? Should never store jars like this.
Water with moisture in them?
Yes. They end up smelling. Thankfully, I don't think it's been like that for very long. But you shouldn't do that anyway because the cover is wet.
I need you to clear up the bottom shelf of the fridge for that turkey.
Trying to get it. Oh, that's not hot thing, is it? Yeah, Chloe wanted me to pick her up tonight, and wanted to do solar Meyer, and
So
we're gonna.
I told Chloe that I'm gonna pick up some sparkling juices for
Yeah, she said
Thanksgiving.
something like that.
What I didn't tell her is that I also plan to pick up a couple jugs of the Frederick's flavored cider.
Oh, that's cool. All right, so I ran across this video this morning, And it's just a really informative gardening video. So
What do many sovereign civilizations
Come on,
have?
here we go.
Lions,
Ah.
Roman Empire. Right before they collapsed, they became so comfortable and advanced for their time at least, that they felt invincible, and pride comes before a fall. Now, I'm not an economist, I'm not a historian, and I am most certainly not a prophet. But if you study the rise and fall of empires, if you look at cycles of warfare, if you just study human behavior, we tend to go from abundance, which leads to laziness, which leads to hardship, which leads to war, which then restarts the cycle of rebuilding, which then leads to abundance, and then laziness and complacency, and it's just a cycle. Well, we are living in what is without doubt the most comfortable, tech savvy society in human history that is just overflowing with abundance and convenience. And because of that, we
Probably
have
gonna end this
become
pretty
incredibly interconnected and dependent. For most of us, our food just appears. It comes from a grocery store that we don't work in, on a truck that we don't drive, or grown on a farm that we've never seen. And I'm concerned that this is going to be a problem for us very soon. So today we're talking about how to plan and lay out a Great Depression style garden. And before we get into how to, I need to address something that comes up in the comments of every single gardening video that we post. Now we have the best community here on YouTube. We all are.
I'll show you guys how I do this.
Every gardening video without fail get comments that say something like, well, that's great, but I don't have land, I can't grow food. And I want to respond with grace and try to, I think I do, but let me just be completely raw with you for a minute. And what I want to say is, okay, I understand, but what if you had to? At some point with the track that this world is on, the mindset needs to shift from I can't grow food to, well, I have to, so how am I going to make it happen? And that's really hard to communicate without sounding judgmental or bossy. So please hear my heart and know that that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just extremely certain that a time is coming when people will have to grow their own food. And so many people don't know how. I just want to do what I can to help that person. We have a reprieve right now. We have time. And if you have an able body, I humbly believe you need to use this time to learn. When you look at the state of the world right now, you have to be totally disconnected from reality to not see that war is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, but soon. So here's my question for you. If you knew, most expected, knew that there would be global conflict in the next few years, what would you do today to prepare your family? What would you do to make yourself less affected by it? My answer is to grow my own food. And if you don't know how, I highly suggest that you learn how. And if you're in a situation where you aren't even able to set some pots on your patio, highly consider what you can change about your situation so that you can grow food even on a very small scale. Okay, that was a long introduction. So let's get into it. A little context about where I'm coming from.
All right.
Video. I have over a decade of experience in gardening, and not just gardening as a hobby. Talking about growing specifically for the purpose of filling my pantry. That means growing things that dehydrate well, that can well, that freeze and ferment well. Things that you can put into jars and store on your shelf that will make actual meals with actual calories to feed my family. That's what I've been doing for more than 10 years. Yet I find myself in a unique position right now of starting over from scratch. There's a lot of reasons for that and a lot of prayer going into what direction to take, and that can be for another video, but I am starting over and I am focusing on a stateless garden because that's essentially what a Great Depression garden is. Our grandparents and great grandparents didn't grow food because they had all this free time on their hands and wanted a fun hobby. They grew food because they had to. And when you approach a garden as essential, that really takes your whole layout and your whole plan. Speaking of planning, it is fall. Fall
Take it out of the mold. That's what it looks like.
And a good plan is what will make this between small.
Stick it in my little bag.
And pantry that's literally overflowing with food. So even though our brains aren't really thinking about growing and spring and summer and crops right now, exactly the plans. And that's what we're doing in this video right now so that we can
Fold it over.
the months.
You want to keep as much air out of it as possible.
Every decision comes back to this. Will this feed my family? Can I preserve this? How will I use this in a meal? That's the filter everything needs to go through. So look at what you use right now. How many jars of pots and sauce do you go through in a month? Or if you want to eat green beans once a week all winter, you can figure out approximately how many plants you'll need to grow and preserve to make that a reality.
We'll
This
see how it
doesn't
is
have to
before
be
and after,
a
right?
guessing game. We've actually done many of the calculations for you inside of our free stable garden plan, which shows you how much food to grow per person to feed yourself for a year. If you want it, comment Staples Garden, and I'll send you the link. It'll also be in the description box. But planning like this helps you focus your precious time and energy on crops you'll actually use, and it helps ensure you'll have enough of the ones that you need.
That has to go.
Now, let me give you another example. Let's say that you eat
Yeah, I
pasta
noticed.
sauce once a week. That's 52 jars.
I was
of
gonna
sauce per
use
year.
a dab of it
How much
earlier in
benefit
my
can you
egg.
make 52 jars of sauce?
Like, oh,
Probably around 20
okay.
cans. You're going to do this for every major crop you want to grow. It sounds tedious, but this is how you avoid wasting space on things you don't need and make sure you're growing enough of what you do need. It's not about being perfect. Estimates are totally fine, but having a ballpark number is way better than just looking. Now
Really?
let's talk about what to actually
Dang
the
it!
vegetables that our grandparents and great grandparents grew to survive the Great Depression. These are tried and true survival crops.
Say, what are you
First,
talking about? I don't use your coffee creamer.
potatoes
Nebula,
store
move!
in cool, dark places for months. They fill bellies, high in calories and nutrients. They're incredibly productive. You can grow a lot of
This is
food in
really
a small
annoying.
space. They are so versatile. Our ancestors survived on potatoes. This should be the cornerstone of your survival garden. I'll caveat with that, of course, if you're allergic or this is not you have a medical condition like
Nebula, go lay
be
down.
smart about it. Take all that into consideration.
Go lay
I can't
down.
know everybody's story when I'm suggesting things.
Go.
If for the average person, potatoes is a must when you're trying to feed your family in that type of situation. Okay, next is beans. Both snap beans for canning and dry beans for storage. Beans are high in protein, they produce prolifically, and dried beans can store for years. You can eat them fresh, can them, let them dry straight on the vine. There are so many uses. They also fix nitrogen into the soil, which is going to help your plant that are planted there the following year be even better without excessive amounts of fertilizer. Okay, next is cabbage. Cabbage is a powerhouse. You can ferment it into sauerkraut, which stores for a year or more. You can store whole heads just as is in a root cellar for months. It's nutrient dense, especially vitamin C. During long winters, it helped keep people from developing scurvy. So just don't underestimate cabbage. Very important. I know I mentioned a root cellar. Well, I don't have a root cellar, so I'm not saying that you have to have a root cellar to store cabbage. There are ways around that, and we will mention those in a minute. Next category is going to be root vegetables. Other than potatoes, these includes carrots, beets, turnips, parsnips, and sweet potatoes if you can. They all store well in cool, dark places or even in the ground in milder climates. They're packed with nutrients, they are filling, they're relatively easy to grow. Now, beets don't make quite as many meals, but they're great because you can eat the greens too, and they're highly nutritious. Okay, next is tomatoes. This is your canning workhorse. This is your pantry staple workhorse. It is amazing, all of the common pantry staples and even meals that include tomatoes. They are the foundation of many preserved foods, sauce, salsa, soup, juice, tomato paste. I mean, y'all know, chili, like so many things. They are productive, they preserve well, they add flavor to just about any dish. Well, you need some tomato. And next is winter squash. These are going to be your butternut, your acorn squash, your pumpkins. These store for months at room temperature without any preservation done. They're high in calories and vitamins. You can use them to make all sorts of soups. They are great roasted for like a quick sheet pan roasted vegetable side
I'm trying
dish.
to write these
They're
down
filling,
too.
and you'll plant these where you have room because the vines do spread, and we will also provide a quick tip in just a minute for that as well. Okay, next is onions and garlic. These store dry for months and months. You just need to cure them first. We have tutorials of that on our YouTube channel that you can find if you're interested. They add flavor, of course, which is important when you're eating simple foods. They even have medicinal properties, and you can save your own quote unquote seed by replanting the bulbs. Okay, corn. If you have the space, corn is valuable. You can eat it fresh, you can can it, but most importantly, you can let it dry and grind into cornmeal. From that cornmeal, we have cornbread, tortillas, grits. These are very, very filling survival foods. Corn does take up a lot of space though, so calculate if it makes sense for your situation. Okay, next category is greens, kale, collards, spinach, chard, lettuce. These are nutrient dense and productive. You can dehydrate them for a green powder for when you can't eat any more fresh. And then be fermented. They're also usually one of the first and last things that you can harvest.
So you can extend your growing season that way too. Now, why these specific? First, they store long term through various methods. We're not depending on refrigeration or freezers that need electricity. Very, very important. Second, high yield for the space that they use. When you're trying to feed a family, you need crops that produce a lot without needing a ton of acreage. Third, you can save seeds for most of these crops, which is huge. If you can't get to the store or seeds aren't available, you can plant what you saved. Fourth, they are nutritionally complete when combined. Beans and corn together make a complete protein. Root vegetables provide carbs and vitamins. Greens provide minerals. Squash provides fats and vitamins. You're not going to develop deficiency if you're eating a range of these types of foods. Okay, so now you know what to grow. Let's talk about how you're going to preserve it, because different crops match different preservation methods, at least when we're talking about ideally. So canning, this is your main method for most things. Tomatoes, green biscuits, relishes, soups, sauces. All of this gets canned. Canning requires some jars, lids, and a heat source in your actual water canner, but you don't even have to have a special water canner. You can just use a really large pot. And
Aaron, it's also during the day. Most of the time I do these, like all the time I do these at night, and I do end up with some viewers out there.
So it's really
a lot of the people that usually show up are at work right now, and it's fine because everybody can go back and watch it anyway.
Well, self-defense online course that teaches you how to can safety with confidence. All of those links will be in the description box. Okay, next is dehydrator. Herbs, potatoes, peppers, some fruits. The dehydrator is great if you have one, but you can also sun dry or even
These next couple days are gonna be
temperatures.
huge pain in the butt.
Dehydrated foods take up very little space.
Please get that bottom shelf.
I will.
Cleared out.
Turn cabbage into sauerkraut.
Freaking crap I have to do today.
Carrots, beets, even some greens.
This is my only day off. Fermentation
requires no electricity, improves digestibility, and creates probiotics, which is extremely beneficial to the immune system. Okay, next is root celery. Now, hear me out. I don't have a root celery, so don't ignore me on this tip because you don't have one. The potatoes, winter squash, onions, garlic, carrots, beets, turnips, all of these can be stored in a cool, dark environment for many, many months, and you don't have to have a root cellar. You can use the corner of a basement. I don't have a basement either, but here's what you can do. Bury an old refrigerator or bury multiple of those aluminum trash cans or bury multiple coolers. You bury those, get them under the ground where the temperature stays pretty much the same year round, and just use that as your root cellar. Okay, next is drying, and this is different from refrigerating. I'm talking about letting beans dry right there on the vine.
Yep.
And just letting corn just dry in the air. And then shelling them or shucking them and storing them dry. This is how you get dried beans, and this is how you get dried corn for cornmeal. No equipment needed except
I'm not trying to just not talk about anything right now, guys, but I'm just
freeze drying. If you
trying to just let this video play.
It can make food last for decades. Use it while you can. If you don't, you have all the other options that I just mentioned. The overall key here is to plant with preservation in mind.
Yep.
Don't just plant what you like to eat fresh. Plant what you can preserve and store, which is the difference between a hobby garden and a survival garden that will feed you all winter.
And I'm going to aim our gardens towards that from now
Well,
on.
let's talk about how to actually lay the soil out efficiently with space limiters and effort matters. There are several approaches you can take, and I'm going to give you a very brief list of pros and cons.
I'm still going to keep, like,
because this situation, that we have
some of the fun stuff.
Quite literally hundreds of gardening videos. I will link that in the description box below.
I'm going to start watching
First,
her gardening
videos. This
videos.
is what our grandparents did mostly. Plant in long rows with walking paths between. The pros are
pain in the butt.
Large spaces. They're efficient. They're easier to weed with a hoe. The cons are you need a lot of space typically, and they can be very hard on your back for tending and weeding and keeping them clean.
Very much.
Next is raised beds. Build boxes, fill with soil, and plant intensively. The pros are you have better soil control. You can plant closer together. It's a lot easier on your back. And
Square foot gardening works very well in raised beds.
The cons is the cost. The cost and labor to actually build a bed and then
not really
soil and then amend it and continue
pallets make some really good beds, and if you can get a hold of cinder blocks, that makes forever raised beds.
Divide your beds into 1 foot squares and plant specific numbers of plants per square.
Yep.
Pros are incredibly space efficient, great for small yards. The cons are that they just require precise planning and may not work well for large vining plants. Last but not
You
least,
can
it's
vertical
in-ground
grow quite
intensive.
well.
They're not raised beds and they're not technically rows. You plant them in blocks and you can still take advantage of intensive planting. The pros are less work initially and that the plants are so closely grown together that they shade out the weeds. It's an efficient use of space. The cons are you really need to have good soil to do this. If you don't have good native soil, it's really not the best option. So choose the method that you can maintain, and whatever method you choose, don't build 20 raised beds or 20 rows if you can't keep up with them. It's better to have 3 productive spaces than 10 overgrown ones. Now, some layout principles that apply regardless of which method you choose. I want to talk about succession planting. You don't want to plant all of your quick growing crops like lettuce at once. You want to stagger your plantings about every 2 weeks so that you have a continuous harvest of your quick growing crops that maybe don't preserve as well. Lettuce and greens are the first thing that come to mind.
These bars are
Next
going to
is
be for
competing
sale,
planting.
you
This
guys.
is how
They're
you
$5
control
a piece.
pests,
So if
bad
anybody,
chemicals,
if any of you
you
wants
can
any,
plant basil with
leave a
tomatoes,
comment
you
and
can
let me
plant
know.
beans near corn, you can plant some marigolds near tomatoes. Like these combinations either repel the pest or they attract beneficial insects or they help each other grow. For instance, the beans and the corn. You want to research companion planting for the crops that you are growing specifically. We do have done for you companion planting blueprints. If you're interested in those, they will be linked in the description box, or you can ask me for the link in the comments. Okay, vertical growing. Use every dimension that you have. Beans, peas, tomatoes, and cucumbers can all grow up instead of out. You can make trellises, you can use stakes, cages. It just saves ground space for other crops. Or if you just don't have hardly any space, maybe you're not opening it up for other crops, but you're just being able to pack in a lot more food in the small space that you have. You also don't want to forget to lay out based on sun and water. Your most sun-loving, water-hungry plants are going to be your tomatoes, peppers, squash, and corn, that kind of family. They need full sun. Your greens,
Full sun and
can
they need a
handle
lot
some
of water
shade.
and they're
So
very
place
hungry
plants
plants, so they
strategically so you're
get
not fighting against
they
the
require a
mulch.
lot of
Quickly
nutrition.
The plant's sun and water needs are, and be sure to lay out your garden kind of in that way. Okay, here's just kind of quick reality. If we are in a situation where we actually need this survival garden, we need to assume we don't have a lot of money to spend. We need to assume we might not have access to fertilizer or fancy supplies. So I did want to mention how to make this work with limited resources. First, seeds. What if you can't afford heirloom seeds or your favorite seed company, or they are just extremely scarce because everybody's buying this?
That's
Buy
why I
what you
want
can
to start
afford
getting
right
more
now.
seeds from So Right
In the fall of
and
2025, right?
um
Even basic hardware store seeds
forgot
grow
another
food.
one of
Dollar Tree seeds grow food. Is heirloom better? Yes, because
Baker's
fake
Creek
seeds
as soon
don't
as
have to be
possible,
the enemy of good. Start with what you can get.
so I can
Learn
get
to
a lot of the
save
really
seeds
good
and
heirloom
access
seeds.
to good varieties. It's easy.
And I'm gonna get one of. I think I'm
Tomatoes,
gonna get one of those
scoop out
seed
the seeds,
boxes with individual
dry them, done.
seed packet
Beans,
holders inside it.
right there on the plant, shell them, store them.
Photo
Yep.
albums do not work as
Wash,
well as I thought they
scoop
were
out
going to.
seeds, rinse and dry. I mean, dry them on a plate, label with a Sharpie. I mean, it's done in minutes.
Yep.
This is a skill that you want to start practicing and learning now if you don't already. Another option is to trade with neighbors and other gardeners. Build a seed saving community. Share what you have. This is how people survived for thousands of years, is with community and trading.
Yep.
You can focus on heirloom varieties when you can because they breed true. Hybrids won't give you the same plant if you save seeds. But quick tip, my Dollar Tree at least, there are seeds that they put on sale in the spring, 4 for $1. Most of them are heirloom. A lot of people don't realize that. They are great seeds, actually. Okay, fertilizer. What if you can't get it or can't afford it? Start composting
Compost.
everything, like grass clippings, leaves, kitchen scraps, cardboard.
I think one of the things I'm
without
gonna do as soon as
paper.
I get
All of
off
this
from
can be
here.
fertilizer over time. You can also find some free wood chips or mulch. Call tree companies. They often give it away because they have to pay you to dump it otherwise. If you or your neighbors have animals, manure is gold. Chicken, horse, cow, rabbit, it all works. It needs to age properly so it doesn't burn plants, although goat and rabbit is what's called cold.
See, I actually
manure, and it
thought
can be used
goat
in
manure was a
for
hot
manure
manure.
kits without rabbits. But aged manure, your chicken, your horse, your cow, you want to age that. It's some of the best fertilizer you can get, and it's often free. If you can, especially if you offer to go scoop it out yourself. Now, human waste can be composted safely if you know what you're doing. I am not going to go into details on that
Doug and
here.
Stacy
If
go
you
into
want to
detail on
research it,
that
go
on
ahead and do
their
that. Some
channel.
of our ancestors did it. You know, everyone, should do what they need to do or what they want to do, but research it first. That's all I'll say about that. Now,
Right
wood
down
ash
situation,
from your
that's the best way
fireplace
to
or
go.
ground adds potassium.
Unless you're
You don't
gonna
want to
dig
use
an
too much,
outhouse
but
pit.
sprinkled a little bit at the base of your plant really helps.
I
But
guess it's
wherever
up
you
to
are,
y'all, but
start where you are with what you have. Don't wait for the perfect situation. Okay, now
Yep.
I have a call to action for you before we close out. I want you to take the next few months, these winter months, and plan. Make that list of vegetables based on what your family actually eats and what do you actually cook, what will preserve well. Calculate your needs using the methods that we talked about. Go ahead and grab that free Staples Garden Plan. We've done a lot of those calculations for you. Just go ahead and make it easier on yourself. How many jars do you need? How many pounds? Work backwards to get to the plant counts. Draw your layout if you can in the winter before spring even comes. This is
So
just a
the
plain old
grids
piece of
are
paper.
for
You can sketch it out and go ahead and draw yourself
there.
a sun and put an arch on the line of where the sun passes across your garden. Go ahead and draw your water spigot so that you know where it's located in relation to where your future garden might go. And keep that in mind, sun and water in mind as you're sketching out your garden plan. Remember, order seeds and supplies now while they are available. And next,
Yep.
during these fall and winter months, learn one preservation method if you don't know any, or what you don't know, pick one of those and learn that. Water bath canning is a good place to start. Master it, then move on to something else. And here's what I want to leave with you. This is a reprieve. Right now, we have time, we have access to resources, we can learn without the pressure of immediate need hanging over us. And I cannot state how important that is. Use this time as much and as well as you are able. Start with where you are, use what you have, and remember, function over perfection. Okay, friends, that is all for today. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Okay. I really wanted to play that through. I personally think that's just really important. And it's one of those things. The gardening, we all need to make sure that we can do it some way or the another. So, and just remember, as I've said before, and even Doug and Stacy have said this, start where you are. You can do some kind of homesteading regardless of where you are. Start making your own soap. Learn to crochet. Just simple. Even if it's just dish rags. How? To hand sew. It's a little bit more in depth. Cook from scratch. Find the warmest room in your house. Set it up and use that room to start seeds in. Container garden. Research. Do that research. That's so important. I wanted to bring to you guys' attention things that I have discovered or heard and research and stuff I keep up on. A lot of this stuff is just so important because of what's going on, and everyone needs to stay informed. And this is what I'm trying to do for you guys, is to help you guys stay informed on what's going on.
This
By 1920, over half of America's wet.
I'm not gonna. I was just wondering if anything had popped up.
This is Pastor Stephen Furtick.
I didn't write that one down, did I?
Hi, Steve here. Muslims are out of the Atlanta Beltline, a 22-mile loop of trails in Georgia, setting up booths to convert Americans to Islam. They're giving out free Korans and even have a booth to convince Americans that Jesus was Muslim. He definitely was not.
No, he was not.
Islam has not even been in existence until the 7th century Arabia, when Muhammad claimed that he received divine revelations from God, Allah, through the Archangel Gabriel. Moses was not Muslim either. Abraham was not. All untrue.
Israelis of today are direct, they're not at all the servants of God. They're direct, there's no exceptions. They're always. But when I'm talking about the Jews, I'm talking
Get ready,
about
you guys,
in general,
because
they go along with
crap's gonna hit the fan real
the viewer and they want to get rid of the old Christian world. Islam has also been, it came into existence in the 600s, the 7th century. It was very possibly, or probably, created by Jews in order, as an instrument against Christendom. And then, sure enough, the Arabs, swept through North Africa and destroyed the
these
whole
done real quick.
a whole lot of Christianity in North Africa. They swept into Spain, thanks to the help of the Jews. It's well known that the Jews opened the cities through to the Mohammedans. They took over Spain, and it took hundreds of years to get rid of them again and get them back out. They went up into France until they got beaten at the Battle of Poitiers in 732.
And then I'm gonna go out and I'll probably take my phone out and I'm gonna do a video out in the garden.
Turks, the Arabs, Muslims, there's various names to them. They kept trying to get into.
Probably wait until Aaron leaves and then I will start uploading the shrub video.
They tried to get into Europe again and again, and
I'm gonna try to go ahead and do a video showing making the Amish fire water.
Exactly what we see this time. It's George Soros who's been financing the Arab invasion.
Yeah, we're in trouble, you guys.
They've been organizing.
All this comes to pass. We are in trouble.
Of Barbara Specter, the Swedish Jewess. It's a very famous clip with a good reason. And she, apparently ignorant of what she's left to say, she says, we Jews need to organize the invasion of Europe by non-Christians so that Europe will become multicultural. Multicultural is an invention of the Jews, sure.
Got two soapbars left.
That will act to dissolve the identity and vestigial Christianity of the one Christian nation and of the ones the dilution of the one.
See, there was air in it. I'm trying to keep the air out of these.
Can dissolve the once Christian nations and can dilute the once white race by miscegenation, by mixing the races, by marriage with other races. Once they can do that, they're going to be a significant step closer to achieving their.
I'm gonna get me an airtight container.
Wake the hell up and wake the hell up fast to what's going on in this country. I live in Ottawa and it's truly shocking. It's like they're walking around in Iran, Iraq. There are more veiled women than there are people without veils on walking around. This country is literally being invaded. Immigration without assimilation is invasion.
Yep.
And that's what we're saying. There's no assimilation in Canada. There's no assimilation whatsoever. It looks as though I'm kidding you not. I'm in downtown Ottawa. It looks as though you're walking around in the Middle East. this immigration that we're seeing is absolute insanity and is cultural suicide.
Yeah.
These woke ideologues like Mark Carney are bringing on the literal destruction of our country. They are bringing on the destruction of our country. I've seen these rallies up close. Don't let the media gaslight you. Don't let CBC gaslight you. These are not peaceful people. These are people
No,
who
they're not.
show any indication that you're not aligned with them. I saw a gentleman with a disgusting sign said something to him. He started screaming at me in Arabic, making menacing gestures. And they're always cowards. They're always in groups of like 50 of them. There's one of you, there's 50 of them. We are massively outnumbered now in Canada. And these people,
that's horrible.
I don't think Canadians understand the percentage of these people that are radical extremists that want to bring on Sharia law, and jihad is the way to do it. This is a death cult, a literal death cult that we have invited into our country due to ahistoric morons like Mark Carney, like Justin Trudeau, who offer these meaningless platitudes like diversity is our strength. I don't even know what multiculturalism means. Either have a culture, you don't. Either have a Canadian culture, you don't. But these people are not here to take part in our culture. These people are here to take over. And unless Canadians take their head out of their ass and demand an election right now, demand an end to this immigration, demand deportations of people here illegally, and get rid of these hundreds of thousands of people who literally hate our civilization, it's going to be the end of the West. If we don't get rid of these people, I shudder
for our
to think of
country.
these current immigration rates, what the hell Canada is going to look like. Right now, I'm walking around in downtown Ottawa, and it looks more similar to me like the Middle East in Canada. It's crazy. It's crazy. There are literally more women walking around with veils where you can only see their eyes than there are people without veils. It's insanity. This country has so radically transformed. 26.5% of the country is now first generation immigrants. They do woke Justin Trudeau, woke Mark Carney isn't stopping it all. Mark Carney thinks a man can become a woman, a woman can become a man, and they invite radical extremists into our country. If Canadians don't wake up tomorrow, Canada, as we know and love it, is going to be dead. Wake the hell up to what's going on, Canada, because if we don't, this country is gone.
Facial recognition will be used to unlock your digital identity, which is going to be a tool of control for the agendas that are coming down the pipeline.
Elements of that control.
And I'm really going to be praying
It's a
hard that
good
God keeps Aaron and Christian and Chloe and Zach
alone in
away
your home.
from accepting,
And this is why all your devices
setting up
at
that
home
digital ID
and
for
all smart
themselves.
appliances, they are all connected on a wireless
I look so
network.
puffy,
Many
man.
of these devices will have cameras, many will have microphones, and so they are monitoring everything all the time. Your smart appliances are communicating with the smart meter and sending it real-time usage data. If there's a Ring camera also in your home, a mesh network is formed, and all your devices are being tracked within the home, its location, its usage, and all the data is going to Amazon servers. When you leave your home, all modern vehicles are connected to the internet, so your automobile is being tracked all the time. When you're going under a string of smart LED poles and smart LED lights on the highway and in the streets of your towns and cities, those form a wireless network and are tracking your vehicle. They're tracking all the devices on you, from smartphones to smartwatches when you're walking on the streets. So data is being collected 24/7 continuously on every human being whenever you are within these wireless networks. And it's obviously not good for health also because of all the electromagnetic radiation. In the long term, the plan is to pretty much lock up humanity in smart cities, which is kind of a superset of a 15-minute city. They've sold all the state and local governments and countries that smart cities are about sustainability and the good of the city. But in reality, the language from the UN and WEF and their white papers is all inverted. So air monitoring is really about limiting mobility and no car ownership. Right? Surveillance, control via LED grid is why the smart lighting is there. Water management is about water rationing. Noise pollution is about speed surveillance. Traffic monitoring is about limiting mobility. And then, of course, energy conservation is all about rationing electricity and gasoline. Another concept one should be familiar with is called geofencing. And that's, think of it as an invisible fence around you where you cannot go beyond a certain point. And that will be related to your face recognition, digital identity, and access control. Your smart contracts, SoftBrick can turn off your digital currency beyond a certain point from your house. Our world has been turned into a digital panopticon.
Yep.
That means you can be monitored, analyzed, managed, and monetized.
Right now, Larry Ellison is on a media rampage. He's buying TikTok. He got Paramount. He got CBS. He put Barry Weiss in charge of one of them. I'm not going to look it all up. The next phase is censorship.
Yep.
The next phase is all out censorship blitz. That is what is coming. Okay. Think about it. Charlie Kirk was the free speech guy, right? Charlie Kirk presented a lot of issues for the agenda right now by the powers that be. He basically single-handedly stopped further escalation of war with Iran. We found out by literally barging into the Oval Office, having like kind of an intervention with Trump and speaking his mind in no unclear terms. Charlie Kirk is basically the reason why Vance and Trump made it into the White House. And he went in there and spoke his damn mind about war with Iran and probably got it shut down. So he stands in the way of war with Iran. He stands in the way of censorship, and he probably was going to be president. I mean, but we don't know why he was killed, obviously. We have no idea why he was killed. Probably just a lone nut. Probably no specific reason. But now that the free speech guy is out of the way, you know what's coming? Censorship on TikTok.
Yep.
Banning of accounts. Probably on YouTube as well. They're going to go after X. They're going to ramp up with the ADL. They're going to do everything.
There's
they've
already
got.
a lot of censorship on YouTube.
Probably more that we can't even imagine. So prepare yourself. We are not in the easy part yet. We are not already decoupled. No. This is just getting started, and it's going to get way worse before it gets better. And I mean, call me a crazy conspiracy theorist, call me a blood libeling anti-Semite, whatever you want to call me, a woke Reichster. But let's just say that we have reason to believe that Israel has done a few false flags in the past. Dragged us into a few wars, done a couple terrorisms, maybe even on U.S. soil. And they're very keen on censoring your speech, telling you what you can and can't say. And you damn well better believe they're not going to go down without a fight. They're not going to let this decoupling happen under any circumstances. And so we are going to have the biggest censorship wave and push that you've ever seen. And we're probably also going to see a false flag or two. And we might see things even crazier than that. So just buckle up. Be wise, be thoughtful, be very careful. Engage with the internet in meaningful ways while you can. And don't give up, Don't give in to despair.
We came here to grow Islam and to bring America down. This is what Jesus told us in Matthew 24 will happen. Watch out that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name saying, I'm the Messiah, and they will deceive many. Many false prophets will rise up and deceive many. Jesus told us. The only reason that Muslims can get away with it is because no one knows the history or the truth about any of it. All the prophets of the Old Testament spoke about the Messiah coming. That was all fulfilled over 2,000 years ago when Jesus came to this earth as a man. Jesus said, the Father who sent me has himself testified about me. You have not heard his voice at any time, and you haven't seen his form. You don't have his word residing in you because you don't believe the one he sent. You pore over the scriptures because you think you have eternal life in them, and yet they testify about me. But you are not willing to come to me so that you may have life. Islam is another broad way that leads to destruction. To become a Muslim You must believe in and verbally declare the Shahada, the declaration of faith, with sincerity. You have to say, I bear witness that there's no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. This act of submitting your will to God is the only formal requirement to enter the fold of Islam. Unquote. But Christianity requires putting your trust and faith in Yeshua, Jesus Christ alone. It also requires you to turn from sin and follow Jesus. Islam does not require you to turn from anything. This is why Jesus gave the warning, enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the road broad that leads to destruction, and there are many who go through it. How narrow is the gate and difficult the road that leads to life, and few find it. Is it easy to live life in this world as a Christian?
No.
No, because it's the narrow gate. But the world is trying to make that gate much wider by being inclusive of every religion on earth. But that's not what God told us in his word by his prophets or his only begotten son. What did the apostle Paul tell us in Romans? On the contrary, what does it say? The message is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. This is the message of faith that we proclaim, that if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Was Muhammad raised from the dead?
2-hour video.
No, he
Sorry, you
wasn't.
guys.
And no one ever claimed that he was. Paul said, one believes with the heart, resulting in righteousness, and one confesses with the mouth,
So I wanted
resulting
you guys
in salvation. For the
I wanted to
scripture
bring
says, everyone who believes
one
in
of
him
these videos to
will
you
not
guys'
be
attention.
Since there is no distinction
Because this
between
guy's on it.
Israelite and Gentile,
And
because the same
he's-
Lord of all richly blesses all who call on him. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord Jesus will be saved.
He's got his head on
They claim
straight.
Abraham was a Muslim, which is absurd.
His name is Steve, and his channel is called Think About It.
Abraham in the Old Testament. Abraham believed the Lord, and he credited to him as righteousness. Modern day Ur is the site of Tel El Maguire in southern Iraq, located near the modern city of Nasiriyah. The ruins of this once major Sumerian city-state are now inland from the coast of the original coastline. The God of the Bible made a covenant with Abram and changed his name to Abraham. And Abraham was the father of all those who by faith believed God. This is why the promise is by faith, so that it may be according to grace, to guarantee it to all the descendants, not only to the one who is of the law, the Israelites, but also to the one who is of Abraham's faith. He is the father of us all. Later, he sent his only son to confirm his covenant and reflect his forgiveness toward mankind.
That's
by
what the blood
ultimate
covenant
sacrifice
was.
he made when Jesus the Christ
When,
offered himself up for
he
us
made that promise
who would believe on him for the
Abraham.
forgiveness of our sins.
God had
Why don't
him.
most Israelis trust him?
God
It
did a
says,
blood
for they,
covenant
being
with
ignorant
Abraham.
of God's righteousness, they
And
go
that
about
was
trying to establish their own righteousness and did not
prophetic
submit
of
themselves
Jesus'
unto the
death.
righteousness of God. In other words, you have to
As
do it
well
God's way,
as
not your
the
way.
blood on the
There are no more
doorpost,
priests
blood of the
sacrificing
lamb
animals anymore. But
in
Jesus
Egypt
has now obtained
was
a
also the
superior
same
ministry, and
because
degree, he's the mediator of the better covenant, which has been established on better
it
promises. Remember what the apostle Paul said? There's no distinction between the Israelite and the Gentile, because the
was
same
obviously
Lord of all richly blesses
the blood of the
all
lamb,
who call on him.
Jesus.
Think about it.
How yeah, I wanted to bring one of those to you guys' attention. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end this. You guys can catch it on the replay, and I didn't do a whole lot of talking this time because I had certain things, I had certain videos and stuff I wanted to bring to you guys' attention. This is kind of up and out of the blue live. My next one's not going to be until next week sometime. because I do have Sunday off. I'm not sure what day I'm going to have off after that. If it's Monday, then it'll be Monday. But I will see you guys in the next video, and just do your research, you guys. So important. Start getting seeds, get your garden areas prepped. Just get ready for that, or your area where you're gonna, figure out if you're in a container garden, where you're gonna do it, that kind of thing. Get your containers in order, your soil, all that kind of thing, and just do your research. Do that research. Keep a check on your subscriptions. Make sure that you're still subscribed, and click on that notification bell. Click on it all to make sure you get all the notifications. Like and share the videos. I cannot stress that enough. Get these videos out there. Get the information out there. And again, do your research. Do your preps. Do your chores. Do your research. Have some fun. And then do more research. And get your homestead started. And start planting your gardens. Get seeds. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.